We are here with the president of Rotary International, Kalyan Banerjee from the Rotary Club of Vapi, India. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You are in your office in Evanston, Indiana. It's Illinois, rather. It's much nicer than my office.
Thank you.
So, my first question for you as the president of Rotary International is, how did you first become a Rotarian? Who invited you to Rotary?
Good question. I think it was my Rotary Club of Vapi, which had just started way back in 1972. It was a new town, newly developing industrial town. They didn't have, a club being formed for the first time. I was not one of the charter members, but within a few months of the charter, I think somebody in the club invited me. As I had explained in one of the conventions, that my uncle had been a Rotarian and I'd always been connected with Rotary. So I didn't ask, they didn't have to wait very long before I said, yes, I'd be happy to join.
And you, of course, understood what Rotary was from the family connection.
I guess so. No one can say that I fully knew all about Rotary, but one still doesn't after all these years. But Rotary is many things and different things in different places, different times. So it's huge, it's tremendous, it's growing, it's changing. But at the same time, yes, I guess I had a fair idea of what Rotary was.
Did you have a moment that we so often talk about when you changed from a Rotary Club member to become a Rotarian in your heart?
Personally, I haven't really thought of it quite that way, but when you are in a small town in India which is rapidly developing, it doesn't have a school, it doesn't have a college, it doesn't have any hospital. Their needs are many, and Rotary's opportunities are many. So we got involved in doing all of these. So it's difficult to say when did I change from a Rotarian to or a member of a Rotary Club to a Rotarian. But I guess we were involved in all of these right from the beginning, kind of. So one does have perhaps more opportunities to work for one's community in a country like India, because there are many needs. And so Rotary gets to be seen much more doing things for the community.
You built not just a Rotary Club, you built a community and virtually a city is what you're saying.
Yes, well, I wouldn't say a city. It depends on what do you call a city. In Indian terms, Vapi is still a small town. It's got about, I guess, less than 200,000 people. 200,000 people. In America, I guess that would be a big city, but not in India.
In the United States, that's how many people are in front of me on the Los Angeles freeway at any given moment. So I understand the comparison.
Yeah.
So you are almost done with your year as the president of Rotary International. Do you feel that your personal goal for where you would like to see Rotary move forward during your year, have we met that with you together?
In many ways, yes. I wanted Rotary to, we think of Rotary as a club-based organization, as a community-based organization, and its strength is to get it to connect all these individual clubs and communities to a global organization as well. And I think we are well on our way to do that. I guess I've been able to contribute something in that direction through our board and the meeting that we have had, the initiatives that we have taken. I guess Rotary is in on things like a social network for the first time. It has its own network where Rotarians can talk about the projects that they have done, and also non-Rotarians can find out a little bit more about Rotary. To get to know more, they can join Rotary. So I think we have made huge progress in some of these initiatives that I had talked about. Tried to give direction to Rotaract, to the youth. We have taken up membership issues now regionally, because I think too often in the past we have looked at membership issues as an issue for the whole world, but it doesn't work that way. It depends on culture, it depends on background, it depends on country, where you come from and what you do. So if you look at issues like this, separately, I guess you are more likely to succeed and be able to solve the problems yourselves easier. And I think we have begun to do that. So these are some of the areas where I guess we are on our way. A presidency is a journey. I mean, Rotary is proceeding on its way, and you are there for part of the way. You know, join it at milepost 101 and leave at milepost 102. That's it.
So it's not complete control of the president's office. The Rotary clubs have something to do with it, which I think is the strength.
Rotary clubs control Rotary, absolutely. Rotarians, through control Rotary clubs control Rotary, not the president.
Absolutely. You've been to, I believe it said, 68 countries you've been able to visit just during this year. Do any of your visits and moments stand out for you as a true, among the highlights of your presidency? And you're not allowed to count Bangkok, that's too obvious.
No, but I think all of them were special. Each and every one of them. If you go to a place like, let's say, Jordan, or if you go to a place like, Morocco, Algeria, where no other Rotary president had ever been, people would fly all over from Morocco to Tunisia and never get down in Algeria, and they didn't ever understand why not. Visiting Tunisia, I'm talking about North Africa, visiting Nigeria, where polio is still there, but I think the Rotarians are very, very active, and I think we need to get them they are very energetic, and I think we need to be able to involve them a little bit more to be able to get Nigeria done quickly. Lagos in Ghana, where we did some water project with USAID, Rotary gave $1 million, US gave $500,000. So a town in Ghana which was not getting water and the women had to walk for about 5 miles, were now getting water at their doorsteps. You know, that kind of thing. It's life changing. It's changing the way you think and live. There have been hundreds. Wherever I have gone, you've seen different things. You go to Brazil in Sao Paulo, you probably see Rotary's biggest education project. They've camouflaged it because no one seems to know about it. But they run right from colleges for schools for young students, kindergarten classes, right up to the engineering colleges. They run schools for the handicapped, the mentally challenged, everything, and it's not known. They run for the visually impaired. It's a huge initiative. So wherever we have gone, each one has been a highlight.
So we do need to continue, though, to raise the awareness around us of what we do, so more people might want to add their hands and their strength to the projects.
I guess so. That certainly helps. And Rotarians, by and large, believe that everything is possible. You need just that kind of person over there, regardless of where he has come from or what he has seen of Rotary elsewhere in the world. You need a believer that we can do it. Together, if we put our minds and hearts and souls into it, somehow the money will come, and we'll be able to manage it. And it's amazing when good people try to do something. People who are not Rotarians often come and join you, help you, support you. Even the governments, in many cases, join you and give. So you can do things together much easier than you think.
I have maybe a strange question for you. Now here we are with 4 or 5 days to go on your presidency. Knowing what you know now, would you have done something differently at the beginning 1 year ago as you started your 1-year journey?
Personally, no. I think I'm reasonably satisfied. You can I think we have driven ourselves pretty hard and done all that we could. I think I'm one of the most traveled Rotarians. And I thought the reason why I've traveled is because the more you connect with Rotary clubs and Rotarians in other places, the more you can perhaps encourage them to do their work. And that's the reason which has taken me out. And in most of these places, I'd say 90%, my wife has joined me. And then Rotary is a family affair, as we have always said. So in other places, if the women and the children, they join the Rotarians, I think together they can achieve not only more, they can enjoy doing that at the same time.
and someday some other Rotarian's nephew will grow up to be the president of Rotary International.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the way it goes. Yes.
Work right through. So soon you'll have other duties, I'm sure, but soon you will have one of the most important titles in the Rotary world after your term as president ends. You will be a Rotarian with the Rotary Club of Vapi.
Right.
Tell us about your Rotary Club a little bit.
Well, our Rotary Club in Vapi, as I said, we run a 250-bed general hospital. It's probably the best and the biggest hospital in our part of the country over there, for a radius of about 100 kilometers all around, and that's run by Rotary. Even the governments in India have an employees state insurance scheme. Persons working in a factory, for example, are insured by their government, and in case they get sick or they have an injury, they go to a government hospital. But these people, instead of going to a government hospital, they prefer to come to our hospital, the Rotary run hospital, for example. And so that's been a very satisfying thing. It doesn't give us any money, but it gives us a lot of satisfaction as being part of the community. And then I guess we run about 6 schools, and we run an arts college, an engineering college, management college, a nursing college. So all of it will keep me busy. And we do a lot of rural development work in purely tribal areas, about 100 miles from Vapi. And we have been working on it for the last 6 years. I've been away for it from some time. Other Rotarians have kept going over there. We work there with the government, helping them change agricultural practices. They used to grow millets and something like that, subsistence cropping. But now we have given them methods to earn more money through the crops that they grow, and that they have chosen to market it. We have helped them market it. So it's been a fascinating journey.
How many members do you have in the club, approximately?
Well, the last I knew was about 82. I don't know, give or take a few.
I enjoy hearing that because I'm in, as I believe we've told you leading up to our conversation today, I'm in a club that has not quite chartered yet. We will soon. We're up around 16 or 17 people, and we're trying to be as active as a club with 80 people. Do you see that? Do you see a strength in particular in a club of your size, 80 members or so, as compared to a club of 30 members?
I think you need to have at least about 40 or 45. There are a certain number of people will get transferred, certain will not be able to come for personal reasons. I think you need an attendance of anywhere between 30 to 40 in the club to be really have a group to keep going in different areas. There are people, somebody may be interested in one area, let's say building a school. Somebody else may be taking up a medical project. I think you can become unidirectional in such cases. So if you have about 40 or members, you can get more hands to join you once in a while if somebody is not available. I would say about 40 people attending a club meeting at any given point in time is about what helps a good club grow. With 80 members, we probably have anywhere between 40 to 60 attending at any given point in time.
I should have asked you this question 11 months ago. I have 3 days left as district membership chair, and it's going to be very hard to get all of our clubs to 40 in the next 3 days, but that's a good challenge. We'll see if we can do that.
Well, you go and ask, as I keep asking, if Rotarians bring in Rotarians. I think we forget that. And we think that we say that, yes, we need members, but then we don't. When was the last time you brought in a member to your club? And that's the question I think I need to ask myself, or indeed anyone needs to ask oneself. Was it 5 years ago? 4, 3, 2? Did you do it last year? If not, why not? Don't you know anybody? Don't you know anybody who amongst your friends who would be a good Rotarian and who is not yet a Rotarian? I think we need to think of it that way. We need to drive ourselves a little bit more.
Well, we've learned that 100% of the people you don't invite to Rotary don't show up, so maybe inviting them will help.
Absolutely.
So your theme for this year, the presidential theme, was Reach Within to Embrace Humanity. Have you seen that implemented in our minds and our hearts as we have gone through the year with you? Have you seen examples of that?
I think minds and hearts, yes, because everyone says no. But reaching within is first understanding yourself better, your own strengths, and indeed your weaknesses as well. And if you do that, you can carry on the work of Rotary better. So you have to start with yourself. If you are willing to spend some time examining yourself and seeing, analyzing yourself, finding ways that you can do things better, I think that's the way to go instead of finding faults with everybody and everything else around you. You know, that's so easily done, and it doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't take anybody anywhere at all. So, as I've often quoted, you be the change you want to see from Mahatma Gandhi. So, you know, if you want to be a change, well, start yourself. That's it.
Start with yourself. So my question for you, without putting pressure on President-elect Tanaka, so I won't make it 1 year, let's put it 10 years. What would you like to see Rotary internationally look like 10 years from now?
I think we'll have completed polio a long time back. There will be other initiatives that we can take up. Whether we'll take up anything at an international level, I don't know. But I think we'll have taken up issues at local. When I say local, I mean perhaps country-wise or area-wise issues. I mean, for example, the question of juvenile delinquencies may be specific to a particular area of the world, and it's not there everywhere. And you take up those issues that matter to you, drugs or whatever, things like that. It isn't an issue everywhere in the world. Take up issues like that, and I think Rotary will be getting more involved in that, following the future vision, because that lays down different initiatives for areas of focus or emphasis for Rotary. I think we'll be going along those lines. Whether we'll be taking up another project, yes, I guess we will, because I think we have seen what polio has done for us. Rotary, it has made us aware of who we are, what we can do, our tremendous strengths, our reach, our depth, and I think Rotarians will be keen to take up something else together. What is not for me to say at this point in time.
You've just prompted me to want to ask you for one bit of advice as we wrap up. How do you encourage a new Rotarian to find his or her own passion within what Rotary does? And perhaps, from my perspective, more importantly, how do you encourage a long-standing Rotary club to give a new Rotarian the room and freedom and support to find that personal passion that will drive them?
Well, people come to Rotary usually with a passion. If they have, you see if it fits in with your plans. Even if it doesn't fit in with your plans, if he can take a particular, or she can take a particular initiative forward in a way where if funds are required, if other involvement of other agencies are required, if he or she or a group of the friends can take it forward, let them do it. That's fine. Otherwise, let him or her get connected with what the club's areas of focus are at that point in time. And hopefully, some area of empathy will be found, and where they can join them and maybe offer new ideas, new initiatives, and new leadership as well. I've seen that work most of the time.
Well, my E-Club members will recognize that directly behind you over your head there is a clock on the wall over the door which will prevent me from going on too long and making our program too long. So I believe I may need to let you get back to your last 4 days and conclude just by saying, President Kalyan Banerjee, thank you for taking the time to visit our little Rotary E-Club of the Greater San Fernando Valley, and we look forward to working with you as a Rotarian long into the future, even when that's not that office of yours anymore.
I shall always be available. Just ask, and I'll try and do whatever I can. Thank you.
We will for you. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye-bye.